All right, folks, welcome back. Once again, Zombie Rip has put on her dark hair and wig and whatever, and she's going to be busting the Australian accent for this. No, of course, it's Zeph. And if you guys missed it earlier, she was casting a little bit. Now we get a turn to cast together.
Woo!
And we're going to be casting the final match of the group. It's going to be JonSnow versus Harstem, and it's actually starting right now.
Sure is. Pretty hyped. Proxima Station's going to be map number 1.
Yeah, and I was telling Zeph, you know, if anyone else missed this too, the first time they played the preliminary of the group, and Harstem won pretty hard. It was like a 2-0.
Damn.
But what was interesting was Harstem had like a really cool, like, there's a lot of cool micro tricks, and he did the double warp prism, right, all this stuff. But JonSnow also, I feel, could have played a better series. And I don't mean that because I think he played badly, but he went for like all-ins. And I think maybe would have had a better chance going another direction with things. So we'll see if that ends up being the case here. Again, it's a rematch, and the winner of this goes through. The loser, sadly, out of DreamHack, or excuse me, WCS Austin, because this is not DreamHack Austin, technically. Spawning in the upper right, it's going to be the blue Protoss, currently without a team. He is the independent man, Harstem.
And in the bottom left, his opponent in the red, it's JonSnow.
JonSnow. Of course, I was talking to JonSnow a little bit. I'm like, so what are you going to do? You know, rematch? And he's like, I'm going to get Sterile to play for me instead. Like, oh, well, that could work. I mean,
solid strat.
It just beat Harstem after all, right?
Yeah.
JonSnow, he may not be the tippy top of North America, but he is still one of the better Zerg representatives. And even when he's playing at his worst, you know, like, he was playing kind of casual, I think, back in Copa America. And, of course, he's always competing for ladder heroes and Fear Dragon stuff. And he's still, even as a not quote-unquote hardcore gamer, does well. So I think that if he is giving it his best, I think he can take a game off of Harstem.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, last series was last series, right? That's yesterday's news already. Focus on the new series. And you never know, because
that's actually so true if you're living in Australia.
I guess, technically.
Mind-blown moment right now that saying actually makes sense when you say it.
Yeah, I guess technically it could be. But, you know, it's one of those things whereby he's now had 2 shots at beating Harstem, and it didn't work. So now he knows, you know, he gets 2 more chances to try something a little different.
He knows what doesn't work. That's actually a really good point.
So hopefully he can grab some points here on the board because it's the last match. So let's get a best of 3 out of it.
Well, what's cool is I think if I don't actually have the page open right now, but I think everyone who's gotten to this point in the tournament, they're getting like at least $1,000 or something. Like WCS out is paying big for this.
Yeah, I think you might be right.
So I don't want to say like, oh, settle for 1,000, but the nice thing is knowing that these guys are still going to walk away with a paycheck. Even if you paid like $300 to fly here, you know, another $100, you're not even paying for a hotel. I think Blizzard's putting up most of the players in hotels too. So
if you qualified, yes.
Yeah, so there's some good money for the folks who have made it this far for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. It's nice to know that you've made a payday out of it.
Did you see? I tweeted a video of Snoot's room last night. Did you see that?
Oh, I saw it today, but I haven't watched it. Yeah.
Okay, they have like a hotel room for those who haven't seen this either. It has like a full-on fridge and a stove and like glassware. Like they're living nice in the hotels. Pays to be good at StarCraft.
Pro gamer life. And you are correct. Round of 32 gets $1,000. So
nice.
That's not too bad at all.
What's the jump up then? Round of 16. It's like what is basically the winner of this get is what it looks like, right?
So round of 16 is $2,500.
Damn, that's some good money for just winning this best of 3. And that's like it's hard to put that in I guess contrast, but that's what's on the line here. $1,000 for losing, $2,500 for winning this best of 3.
Yeah, pretty delicious. So let's see who comes out on top. We got a scout coming in here from JonSnow. He'll get confirmation of that Stargate.
But look, JonSnow takes a really weird third base.
What?
Okay, so hear me out. I actually think this is cool for a lot of different reasons. The first being, there's no reason for Harstem to really scout over here. Unless a warp prism's heading this direction or something that's just trying to dodge scouting. There's no real reason to look for this. So when the Oracle comes over to JonSnow's base, it's going to see the main, it's going to see the natural, it's going to see third, and Harstem might click and think, oh, there's going to be an all-in, 2 bases, right?
Yeah.
If he doesn't scout that weird third. Because there should be a base back here.
There should. I mean, it's an easy 4th later, but this is taking that idea of taking the forward third instead as your natural a little bit to the extreme. My only worry would be if the Oracle, the second one, did path around that way just to get behind the other mineral line, so you've got that multi-prong going. But we'll see what happens. This may very well work out just fine for him, and in which case he'll be having a really solid mid-game. It also gives him a bit more forward creep spread, I guess.
Yeah. Well, actually, he may have just lost the series versus Cyril. Harstem had a lot of really cool moments where he had stasis traps into storms, it was awesome, but looks like he knows what's up. So this This isn't going to fool anybody not here today.
Yeah, it's just a bit of an... I haven't seen anyone do this. I bet there's like a super smart reason why. Because it's not that hard to scout, right?
Of the two of us, you play Zerg. I was hoping you would know.
No, I just haven't really... I mean, granted, most of the StarCraft I watch is Korean, and I haven't seen any of them do it recently. So.
No, I'm with you on that boat. We see more Korean StarCraft than non, but this ends up not working. And I like the idea. Like, there's a little bit of mind games, a little bit of risk to it, of course, but unfortunately, at the end of the day, it's not going to pay out the way JonSnow wants it to. There's still a weird benefit to this, though. If he mines this out, he is the safest 4th base in the universe to fall back to.
Yeah, exactly. If you're going into mid-game, it makes it easier. That base is still very exposed, and the thing that weirds me out about this is that the creep spread to get to that base is a little tricky. You know, it's a while before that's going to be connected.
You got to make like a Tetris shape out of those creep tumors.
Yeah, and if the Protoss is going to attack you, this base is kind of out in the middle of nowhere on its own. You can't cover all 3 bases just by sitting at the front of what would usually be your natural or third.
But this is where it gets interesting to me. It might be a small plus, because if the Adepts are walking down this ramp towards this base, then it's a lot easier for JonSnow to set up like a concave. Whereas over here, there's no chance of it. You're just going to have a front door attack only. So there's some cool possibilities, but I should emphasize possibilities, I guess. Don't think it'd be smart to transfer through. This Bailey's waiting. He goes for the cancel, goes on. Oracle's joining in now, too.
Oh.
And JonSnow's not going to get that surround or the sandwich that maybe he was hoping he would.
Not quite. It makes it extra difficult, and the Shade's already off cooldown, so he can be in 2 places at once. These Banelings are coming in. He will eliminate a couple of Adepts, but those by no means were excellent hits. And
God.
Are slowly trying to help out these little drones, but they're going to be absolutely slaughtered here. Mauling's coming in. He may be able to salvage this, but the Shade has already gone off.
And he doesn't go to the natural with it. I assumed he would have just gone here for more kills, but Harstem choosing to fall back from this, I actually like, because he hasn't taken that many losses yet. To lose these Adepts would just be losing buffer for whatever he's following up with, and he's getting ready to follow up.
Yeah.
Yeah, 6 Adepts so far for 45
Oh,
lanes.
my
That's
goodness.
not bad. That's not bad.
Really cost efficient there. So fantastic start for Harstem already. He's got a lot of Adepts left, and he's heading into that charge Archon composition.
Well,
that Temple Archives coming up.
Well, he's certainly going to be going Storms at some point once he realizes it's Hydras and Banelings that are going to be on his opponent's side of the field.
Yeah, I don't know if you've managed to catch any of the stage matches today, but I think it was, why can't I remember already? Neve, I think, that did Archon Immortal against that, and it crushed it. Just because it wasn't as good as those units are with DPS. You know, when they're that tanky, the Banes aren't that good, neither of the Lings. But we'll see what happens. I mean, you do have a lot of options with this composition. Point is, it's beefy, it's got splash if you want to, and there's that Storm upgrade on the way.
Well, so Adept's going to be heading into the main. If Harstem didn't have good guesses about the Hydras, which he probably would based on the previous series, he does now. In fact, I think he saw that. Yeah, he did see that.
Yeah, this is like the go-to Zerg composition at the moment, Link, Bane, Hydra. You can transition into Lurkers after that for a bit of extra dirtiness in your army. But we'll see how it goes, because oftentimes you'll see a Zerg try and grab a timing attack with this.
Well, it's kind of funny, because Ling Hydra is not like a new strategy. Right? Like even Jaedong was using it back when he was playing like HOTS. What I think is really interesting, though, is I guess the inclusion of these Banelings nowadays. I guess in HOTS, you just really didn't have the economy to afford both and all.
Yeah.
Now you can afford Hydras, Banelings, no problem, and everything has more health. Hydras have more health, Banelings have more health. Feels good, man, if you're Zerg.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, like, Banelings are a new addition to that, and it's kind of cool twist on it. We've got the +2 melee upgrades coming in for those Lings. I believe the Hydras already have +1 at minimum.
Where's the upgrade? I can't remember this over. There we go.
Yeah, okay, so... Yeah, he's going to have decent upgrades coming up against this. I think Protoss is heading towards his 1-1 or something at this point.
What's going to be kind of frustrating here for JonSnow, though, is no matter how good his upgrades are, Storm doesn't care about any of that. Storm's going to annihilate whatever he sits and cooks and bases in. So there's a good chance that like maybe a couple of sick force fields combined with Storms just annihilate JonSnow's army. He doesn't even have a chance.
Yeah.
But the thing I'm worried about is actually, normally, I'd say the Zerg player is the one up in army supply when it comes to this composition. JonSnow's actually really behind.
True, but look at his economy. He's just powered that so hard. 82 drones. He's got 4 bases.
Yeah, there's the 82 coming into play now.
Yeah, and Ling Bane Hydra relies on having this 4 or 5 base economy because it is actually quite expensive at the end of the day because you're pumping out a lot of units and you need to be able to rally those as well. His creep spread's starting to look pretty good and he's taken that gold base, so he should be well poised for this attack, and we can see that big influx of units start up now.
at some fans in chat really enjoying the British cast around right now, apparently. I'm so sorry.
It's an easy mistake.
Well, there's unfortunately not a lot going on at the moment, but right now that's a good thing for JonSnow. I don't think he could have taken a proper fight versus Harstem. And the more time he's given, the more banelings, more lings, more, I guess, just units he'll have on the field. You can only storm so much.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is a cool thing, right? We get to see that maxed out versus maxed out fight. And he's just going to be a little bit careful. He might get some of these Templar snipes, but he's playing really patiently, not getting ahead of himself, dropping any storms. But a Warp Prism comes in from behind. He's actually going to deal with this using just Bane.
Oh, I don't know about that. It's a necessary loss, but it's an expensive one just to clean up Zealots. Trading gas like that, and Zealot scores can take like 3 or 4. Not a problem.
Yeah, the Lings give you a lot of mobility with this comp, but the Hydra's not so much. So you do end up getting run around a little bit in some cases. So, we'll see what happens. I mean, they've still been very hesitant to kind of have a big clash in the middle of the map, haven't they?
I was wondering what he was chasing down. Yeah, it's been surprisingly passive. But again, I don't know whether that's a good or a bad thing for each of these players. Like on one side, JonSnow wanted the ability to get the army. On the other, Harstem may have given him too much time.
Yeah, possibly. Because JonSnow is dropping all that extra tech now as well. But we also have the Mothership coming up for Harstem, better upgrades, air upgrades, and he's still trading quite cost efficiently with those little skirmishes. I think the Warp Prism harasses are a really big key to being able to pull this composition apart as well. So if you can keep that up, that'll definitely help him out.
Yeah, I love the double Warp Prism too, just having that extra angle to go in from, but this is so weird and awkward. Oh, teamwork. No, not both attacking the rocks. It's just Harstem getting wrecked. But I'm so worried going forward. Like, the air weapon upgrades is actually really weird because there's no carriers, there's no Tempest, there's no Void Wraith. That was an upgrade that only benefits the Mothership core. Well, the Mothership now, I guess. She's all grown up.
Yeah.
Puberty hit her hard.
I love the addition of the DT Shrine coming up there in the production tab because that will only add hurt here. I mean, this base, for example, has no detection on it, so that could definitely wreak some havoc, and then it's not quite so simple as sending a group of Lings over there to deal with it. He's going to need more Overseers, maybe even a Spore. It depends how defensive he wants to be. He could even drop Spines. So
it took some time to transition to said Golden Armada, but looks like we are on the way.
Yeah.
We even have the Graviton Catapult coming. Harstem's going to be hurt most by his supplies, so that's why he's willing to take a fight, you know? Shave off a little bit, trade some decently, but oh, those storms are nice.
Oh, these Banelings, such a waste. Get out of there.
Unfortunately, Banelings are not cheap, so you don't want to lose them like that.
Yeah.
He still hasn't cleared out these rocks yet. He keeps going back for them.
He keeps getting distracted, man. I can't really blame him.
So, you know, Buell's had a lot of success recently over in Korea. And one of the cool things about watching players like Buell and Solar is on maps like this, and more importantly, Belshire, they set up for multiple attack angles. And I think that's what JonSnow really needs. He can't take a front-facing attack. There's going to be too much waiting for him between storms and force fields. If he can knock down some of these rocks and set up a back attack, a squishy concave, however you want it to look like, that would be so much better for his engagement potential. Yeah,
run-bys, link drops, all those sort of things can help because this Protoss army has to stay in one big bowl to be useful, right? Aside from maybe a Warp Prism worth of stuff. But it's funny, this composition, once you reach this point, I feel like the Banelings aren't going to do crap for you. See, look at that. Oh, no.
This is kind of moving through the storms, too. JonSnow may be a little too fed up. He started going for some Mutalisks behind this, too. I love that for the idea of harass, but if he's going to take bad army engagements, he won't be able to afford to spend the time harassing. He'll need everything at home defending.
Exactly. This army, it's expensive. It's actually not that big. It's more that it's invisible and really hard to engage.
You know what I just realized? JonSnow, I don't believe, has any idea about the fleet beacon transition. Like, he might suspect at some point, okay, it's a Protoss that goes sky, right?
Yeah, because he's got to be looking at that and going, why is that so small, right?
Maybe. He hasn't been able to see it is the thing, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting the way this army's been very deceptive in that way. And so Harstem's, he's got Phoenix coming out. He's got carriers on the field. He's been upgrading. Like, this is a really interesting bamboozle.
Yeah, it sure is. At least it's still got 3 overseas. Got to watch out with that Mothership core. But now that he's flown in here, that's when he gets the scout detect. The Mothership goes down.
That's a nice pick-off.
Yeah, but this is still a lot of Protoss on the dance floor.
Uh-oh. He's going to get the pylon. That's a really important pylon. I don't know if they have a specific name for it. Sorry, what did you say?
What is Control pylon? Tasteless pylon? I can't remember.
Too many names! I don't know. But that depowers his Stargates that were meant to be Easy peasy counter to get the Phoenix out to deal with the Mutas. Now Harstem's actually in some trouble. Well, he takes an engagement in the front line that is questionable. Back at home, he lost the Stargates. There's nothing stopping the Mutas, and they're still picking off production. Dark Shrine's about to go down.
Anything he can pick off is great. He's still got the Protoss to deal with on the front doorstep, but you know what? He's got 11 more Hydras on the way, 20 Banelings, and without that Invis, that army is a lot easier to engage.
He's trying to put down so many pylons to get these Stargates up. Like, if he could just get those powered, dealing with the Mutas is a joke. There's not that many, and they're easily picked off.
Yeah. Oh, nice. He's even going to get a free Archon, maybe some probes. And this pulls the Protoss army all the way home. Gives JonSnow all the time in the world to recuperate his army, expand again, retake that 5th base, and get back into the position that he wants to be in.
Phoenix is finally out. Problem is, you know what? With that army being brought back, as you just stated, this leaves an opening in the middle of the map. And this base, this is like 3 cannons. This is nothing.
Uh-oh. Yeah, no good losing this base. And oh, Muse finally got dealt with, but this base may not be long for this one. Let's see if he can actually fix it, finish it off rather, because that's he's kind of fighting with half the army at the same time.
Harstem can't fight on 2 fronts. That's really bad.
He's doing really well there.
Oh my god, 40 probes have died through this too. And JonSnow and Harstem, neither of them really have an amazing bank right now. Nobody's really rich behind this. They're all pretty much fighting full on the front lines. Resources lost is pretty disgusting too.
Yeah, I mean, Harstem has been getting the better trades all in all because he just storms Banes and Lings, and JonSnow loses a lot more. But look at this, like JonSnow has brought it right back to him. He's tucked him away in these bases, doing a lot of damage, and Harstem's kind of stuck. The harassment has more or less stopped. A little bit of Zealot harass here, but I think JonSnow's got to be feeling relatively comfortable at this point.
How did Harstem have less income with like 87 probes?
Maybe his base saturation's been weird.
That's I gotta imagine, right? So maybe losing all those workers wasn't so bad. We'll find out. More Zealots being warped in and more harassment coming in on the left side, but Harstem, he actually really needs to get another base up and running. He's actually spent so much money. Like, okay, he's been playing more cost effective, no doubt about it, but he's still been spending a lot of money this game.
Yeah, for sure. Now that he's got more Templar in the mix, I think that'll help him out a lot in resecuring these bases, because JonSnow definitely wants to deny those. He doesn't want to get it for free, but lots of Lings Banes rolling in. They're pretty much wasted on the Archons.
Where are the Templar? Okay, they're a little bit in the back. So he needs these to wash those Lings off and just remove them, like the pests that they are. But cancels the Nexus, no chance to save it. If he can catch JonSnow's army for this, this would be worth it, but unfortunately not going to be the case. He does get some damage on the other side of the map, but he's like putting a lot into killing a mined-out base.
Yeah, he sure is, but you know, at least it makes JonSnow respond to this and pull back, similarly to what we saw JonSnow do. Oh no. That poor Watcher. He's still got one left, actually, so all is not lost, but he may want another second one if he can afford it.
I guess I've been terribly on the units now for so long. I hate this overlay because I don't even know what I'm looking at up here half the time. It's too tiny. What is the production tab for ints? Alright, so yeah, he does have that other warpers, and maybe he can get some cool stuff done. There's Stormed Templars in here, and I guess what's interesting is no matter what base JonSnow goes to at this point, he is probably going to be pretty stacked up with drones. The Storms are so dangerous.
I'd love to see him take top left, especially now that that other Warp Prism died, because that's way out of Harstem's way.
Oh, like way up. Yeah, so he's going to do it.
Oh, there we go.
Wow, does JonSnow have soundproofing, or do you just hear the casters? Whoa.
Yeah, because he definitely take direction from me. Diamond League.
I was going to say, you know, again, your accent is so deceptive and deceiving. You can just think, like, wow, she's really smart. Listen to the way she talks.
Oh, I'd feel sorry for him if he fell for that trap. Ling Runby is here doing a little bit of damage, just chewing things up, forcing Harstem to run around. Not really doing that much damage, but being a bit of an annoyance. And JonSnow behind us is getting his +3 attack. Oh, some nice storms at the front there.
But does he have enough? There's still a lot more behind this. And the Templar get hit with some of the Banelings, forces the Archon, so he saves the efficiency. And again, kudos to Harstem, playing with very little, but making big plays.
Yeah, he's defending well. He just really needs that extra base, and JonSnow is making a valiant attempt at stopping him.
I will say, though, I feel like the scales are very much tipping in Harstem's favor as the longer this has gone on. Like, JonSnow started the game a little bit in the downside, then he brought it back, had big army leads, huge Banling attacks, and it looked fantastic. But now that his bank is gone, he didn't have these bases mining, it really feels like Harstem has started to take control with that cost efficiency. Sure, it's not Carriers and Tempest and Void Rays, but Storms and Archons are getting the trick done.
Yeah,
although, I didn't realize, I didn't even see that in the production tab. Greater Spire coming up. So This has worked for Harstem up to this point, but what he has, there's no Blink Stalkers with this.
Exactly.
Storms and Archons will be really tough to get underneath those Broodlords.
Yeah, I feel like JonSnow has been buying himself a lot of time, staying aggressive, and just getting to a position whereby he's got enough money to be comfortable to go into that tier 3 tech. And Harstem, you know, he's defending well, but when you're defending, you're not really gaining much ground.
Yeah. Well, I guess the CSGO show just finished because the audience is flooding out of there.
Well, it's time for them to learn about the real esport.
Yeah, League of Legends.
Don't make me slap you.
Actually, I put out this great tweet over the weekend because LCS was in my hometown, right?
Uh-huh.
And I was like, all right, what's the worst way to cast a video game? It's like option A, Braille. Option B, sign language. Or option C, League of Legends. Everyone voted option C. A couple of people voted for Braille. I was like, okay, that's funny.
Oh, wow. Nice. Master Troll Rifkin.
Absolutely. If I'm not trolling, I'm shitposting. All right, Broodlords are finally revealed. Harstem, you know, I do wonder if there's some horse blinders put on for this. Because you're playing this game the same way against the same unit composition for the last 10 minutes. You really might not have predicted Broodlords, and you might be kicking himself right now saying, damn it, I should have seen this coming. So Tempest production starts, but it starts really late. And there's like one Tempest coming out.
Oh, man, this army is getting torn to pieces by this. Storms are really the only thing that are helping out here. A few Phoenixes coming in, but the Hydras on the ground will deal with it. GG, JonSnow taking game one, number 1.
That's really good for JonSnow, because if you guys remember, he got wrecked the first time these two played. So, okay, Harstem takes a hard fall, but that was a goddamn good game out of both of them.
That was really good. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I'm glad that we saw that sort of 5 or 6 base. There's 5 or 6 base. You often don't see games go that long at the moment. It's kind of like a mid-game thing.
Also, don't look at what I'm drinking because we're not sponsored by them.
Smooth. Nice.
Although, I'm pretty sure the way I held that could have been edited in a very bad way.
Get on it, guys.
We had Zombie Girl. She has such a bad influence. Earlier, she's talking about like how big of a sausage you can fit in your mouth. And she's like, I don't know, like the girth. Like, like, thanks, Zombie Girl.
Well, it does depend on the size. She's not wrong.
Sorry, something in my throat. Definitely wasn't a sausage. Okay, see, this is why I like Zeph. Zombie Girl just like, she just rolls her eyes at me. Zeph laughs. Even if she doesn't mean it, she's still laughing. I love it. I love having you on, Zeph. All right, Harstem saying go, go, go. Just waiting on JonSnow. Once he's John, go. Kill me. All right.
That's lame.
All right, Abyssal Reef. I love this map, and I gotta say, we talked about this a bit last game. I think this map is so much better for crafting the multiple attacks, and I think JonSnow showed us that like he can and does think about that, but the rocks on Proxima kept stopping him, and maybe this time around it'll be a little bit easier. That being said, guys, again, it's the deciding match. There's no more games. There's no more extra lives to fall back to, so he's on his last life of the tournament. I know he doesn't want to walk away with a mere $1,000. In the top left, it's the blue Protoss, Harstem.
And in the bottom right, in the red, up 1-0, it's JonSnow.
And of course, I guess we've been having some fun today, but I want to give a quick shout out to Zeph because she has been casting on and off here and there. VSL Team League joining us now. If you want to follow more of her casting, unfortunately, she does stuff, though, that we don't normally cover, a lot of the Aussie stuff. So probably follow her on Twitter, I guess, would be the best way to keep up if you want to hear more of her casting. Which would be
at ZephSC2 on the Twitterverse. I think we've got WCS Season 2 because Season 1 finished so quick. Season 2 starts around like May 20th or that whenever that weekend is. So,
yeah, and for those who don't know, like the whole Aussie scene, they have like they're completely like I guess region locked in a way. Like who's Igas and Probe came to this, qualified through there, and with more WCS events coming up. Like I know, is Montreal the next one? I don't actually know if there's one between it now and Montreal.
I think you might be correct. I'm not entirely sure there.
People coming to Canada next time. Feels good for me.
Oh,
you know what's actually stupid? Montreal is closer to me than Austin is, but costs twice as much to go to.
How does that work?
I don't know. I assume because they're French.
Wow.
That's my only explanation.
Man, I'm waiting for StarCraft to come to Australia. I spent a lot of money coming to the US.
I was talking to Baldy. Do you remember Baldy?
Yeah,
we go way back, right? I was talking about how sad I was that it wasn't at IEM because it would have been great to see that at Sydney.
Yeah, I think they probably tried, but, you know, these sort of things are tricky. And also with WCS being the week before, IEM is actually next weekend. that's kind of hard for players and stuff as well.
One of the big things, too, that I think is probably going to be interesting, you'll see, I think, less StarCraft at events, not because people hate it, but Blizzard's really changing the format. Like, we joked about this earlier, but this is actually not DreamHack Austin StarCraft 2. This is WCS Austin StarCraft 2.
Yes.
And it might just be something like a DreamHack or whatever these other big events are. They don't want to give up, like, the ownership, quote-unquote, of the game.
True.
So it might be a little bit fickle, but I think if Blizzard can maintain and establish branding and continue to fund it, then you know what? It means better things for the players, and it might suck seeing less StarCraft at events, but it also makes it more special, too.
It does. I mean, I think one of the great things about the StarCraft scene at the moment is that there's a million online cups. A lot of them are real high-quality games, too.
I've never heard of any of those.
Really?
Yeah, really.
That's weird.
What sort of online cups are you referring to?
I don't know. I think there's some on this one channel that I think it's called BaseTradeTV or something. They sometimes cover some of these things.
Oh, because I've heard about those OSC guys.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, they only run, like, a lot of tournaments.
I would say, like, you know what, the way it probably breaks down is, like, 49% us, 49% them, and then, like, the couple of other folks out there, like the Gauntlet or the odd Wardy one here and there.
Exactly. Yeah, there's a few independents, but OSC is kind of like its own WCS-like system in a way.
Yeah, they've grown quite a bit. I've had a couple of players who've actually said, like, they prefer to play in OSC over other tournaments because, you know, it's the point system integrated in with it, so... Either way, there's a lot of good stuff going on, is the point.
Which is fantastic, and we're lucky enough to be at an actual LAN right now watching Harstem vs. JonSnow, which is pretty sick. I'm actually not sure if I've had the pleasure of casting Harstem before.
It's a shame that, like, I think maybe you've given him the yips. He's like, this is a beautiful girl. I don't know what to... No, Harstem's, like, so cocky. He'd do it the other way. He'd be too busy trying to impress you.
He'd be making me nervous.
Yeah. He's, like, sitting over there. He can't play with his left hand because he's busy flexing his arm. Like, look over here.
I thought that was going somewhere different.
Oh, Zeph. Clear your mind, girl. It's been a long day for me. I don't know about for you.
But you've been talking about sausages, mate. It's not my fault.
That's going to be the quote book of 2017 right there.
Oh, boy. It's derailed fast.
So I guess one of the weird things to bring up that last game, we didn't really... Like, there's no weird thirds this time. JonSnow's actually going to be playing a little bit more close to the vest.
Yeah.
He did skip the natural straight to the third, but the point is it's a much more consolidated base layout, whereas last time you really, as you pointed out, have to reach out to get to that third.
Yeah, so this is pretty standard from the Zerg. It looks like possibly the same composition. We've got the Evo coming out, we've got Banes. Would love to see the incorporation of some drops or something if he's having trouble kind of getting at Harstem.
That's a good point, because I was really, excuse me, the second he got to +2 melee, I thought for sure we'd start seeing some Banelink drops. Because for those who don't know, that's the upgrade. That's the special magic number that lets you one-shot a probe with a Banelink. So I would love to see more of that. We've seen other really good Zerg players be able to pull that off. But perhaps too focused on the army. And right now, Harstem does have a pretty good army coming in. Once again with the Adepts, also paired up with an Oracle. So for the first time, we're going to see some damage go down, but it's going to be some pretty good damage.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that he's focusing down the Banelink with this. He could easily chase the drones, but I think these are more important kills.
Man, was JonSnow caught with his pants down a little bit here because he just seems to have nothing in preparation for this. A few lings isn't going to cut the mustard. Another queen is going to go down here, and the drones are now defenseless.
Pants down, sausage out. This is not looking good for JonSnow. A lot of drones going down with most of the lings just filtering in. There's no way for them to get the surround that they need to.
Yeah, it's a little rough at the moment. Actually, this is not looking good at all. He's losing so much.
He's going to kill the queen. Oh, no. GG.
Wow, GG. Harstem takes a quick game number 2 there.
That's awesome, though. That's a really good comeback after that loss that he just took. I really like that this was decisive and powerful, and that there wasn't, like, hesitation. He just went in, and it completely caught him off guard. Pants down, as you said.
Yeah.
That's going to lead us to map 3. It's going to be Belshire. We're going to take a small break, guys, real quick. And we'll see you soon for the third and final map to decide who moves on and who sadly dies and falls out of the tournament. Well, maybe not dies. Falls out of the tournament.
Why'd you have to say it like that?
Well, they would die in game. I'm just saying. Like, there would be death in some variety. All right, folks, we're back, and we're actually hopping into game. No, that's the intro. There we go. Things are tied up 1-1. This has really come down to the wire. Again, I want to remind everybody what's on the line. Like, it's not just that you've got WCS points and placing and continue on for more in the tournament, but, like, straight up brass, like, bare bones, it's $1,000 if you lose, $2,500 minimum if you win. And, of course, you can go much further than that. Maybe even hit that round of 8. But for now, what they're playing for is their tournament lives to not get knocked out. In the top left, he's the blue. Perotas coming all the way from Europe for this. It's Harstem.
And his opponent in the bottom right, keeping the dream alive. This is JonSnow.
JonSnow, of course, coming all the way from America for this.
Do you know where he's from? What part?
East Coast. That's all I know.
Oh, okay.
So not too far, actually. I've still been super messed up by the Texas time zone.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I thought Texas was like 1 hour ahead, but I guess it's 2.
Yeah, it's 2.
What? Who does 2? Why does that even exist? God.
I don't know, man.
All I know is, like, I've got the ones pretty concrete. You got, if you're basing it on Pacific, East Coast is 3, Europe is 9, and Korea is like 16 or something. It's like so easy. Then I come to Texas, and I just can't get anything right. I don't even know what time it is right now.
What does it matter, man? We've got video games.
That's
time
true.
is irrelevant.
Well, this is where it is relevant, though. When I got to wake up and be here for tomorrow.
True. But for now, it's all gravy.
Yeah. All right. So JonSnow, I really like this game 1. There's a lot of cool thought process behind it. I feel like he was aiming for the same thing in game 2, and he's like a cut down short. Like Harstem said, nope, I'm not letting you get to that point. You're not going to have a chance to play. Because while the Adept attack was really dedicated, it came with a non-proxied single Oracle initially, and the second one joined it later. It was far from what I would consider all in.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it definitely wasn't really an all in there. We do have the speed and pull coming out from JonSnow before anything else. That's going to give him a bit more mobility.
But this is what's really interesting to me, right? Harstem didn't scout much. He got over there with the probe, though, and saw the pull timing. And he did make a Zealot. Like, normally you would just skip this, right? Go straight for the Nexus and play a little bit greedy. So maybe this was like a little bit of not wanting to risk his whole tournament life on being lazy and complacent. Or maybe he really was worried about that early pull providing a lot of lings. But 2 Zealots is for, like, what he saw, an overreaction to be sure. But if he was making this purely in preparation, then I really like that move.
Yeah, I think he needed to make something, because when you see speed and pull come down like that, you're like, well, he could actually try and sneakily Ling Flood me. If the Protoss hadn't scouted, then yeah, he might be in trouble. But having seen that, he's probably like, I'm probably not going to skip that first unit, because he needs it for the wall if JonSnow decides, YOLO, here's a bunch of Lings, you know?
Well, I think a big part of this, too, is just like, you don't want to make a dumb move. You want to be that guy who lost because you played a little bit greedy, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Either way, Harstem is set. He's not screwed for doing this, but he is out 200 minerals early for these 2 Zealots. So, yeah, the Nexus comes down a little bit later than maybe you'd hope. We don't have a super fast follow-up for tech. We do have a Stargate coming down, though, and it's right in the front lines. So this isn't hidden. JonSnow should know exactly what's up, especially with that Ling poking in.
Yeah, he's not shy about that at all. And this is pretty much common for any ZVP at the moment. All the Protoss love their Oracles. Fair enough, like Oracle Adept as a combination is just so beautiful for harass. It keeps constant pressure on the Zerg if you're willing to pay attention to your units and keep marking them around. So similarly, it looks like the same thing from JonSnow, as a lot of Zergs are doing, sticking with a Ling-based defense in the early game, and we may see the Bane Nest in just a little while heading up into that layer tech.
I was really worried Spore Crawlers weren't going to come down in time for this, by the way, because they were delayed just a little bit, but yeah, Spore Crawler per base, several Queens out in the field. This Oracle shouldn't get much done. But the nice thing that I've really actually enjoyed about, I guess, the transition of what the Oracle's become, it's no longer a unit that will suicide for a Queen on like 6 drones, but a lot more utility through the stasis traps. We see a lot of revelations, sometimes be game-defining. So I love the way that this unit's kind of come. This unit has come the furthest from its original design, right? Before it couldn't even attack when it was first put in the game.
Yeah. It's just become that staple unit, you know? It's like the breakfast of champions. You just, it just sets you up so well for the rest of the game. Endless vision. Of course, he sees there's 3 bases. He sees the droning is happening. You know, there's nothing crazy going on in Zerg Town. A few Lings are coming out now, but that'll just help with any potential adepts that might float out here soon.
He doesn't get in to see the back of the base, so he's not going to see that Baneling Nest, which is kind of unfortunate, actually.
Yeah, even seeing the Evo would confirm that this is going to be that Ling Hydra type of composition, but at this stage he's seen no Roach Warren either, and that's also going to be as well. Sometimes
the lack of information can be all the information you need, but at the end of the day, so it's nice to confirm and see, right? Like, have your eyes see, oh, that is a Baneling Nest, good. Didn't have to guess at it.
Yeah.
But I will say, just from the start of this game alone, Harstem's already playing safe, and we know this. So I can't imagine he's going to be playing 2 Cavalier now. Like, okay, I got past the cool early pull timing, now I can play however I want. No, I guarantee you this guy is focused and sharp, and he doesn't want to lose his tournament. JonSnow like this and something silly. So, yeah, he hasn't scouted, but I think he'll be prepared for it.
Yeah, he should be all right. Hopefully he can run over the group of Lings that was just made, because those Lings
maybe
can
not.
go deny
He's
the
hiding
third
them.
base.
He's hiding them in the back of the base, actually. I like that a lot.
Oh, man. He even sends out a single link first to take the tower and just watch the path. But you know what? A bunch of adepts are coming here, and those are actually going to help out taking that out instead of going over to the wars at third base.
I mean, it's a red flag for certain, but there's not that many banelings back at home. Dealing with these adepts is going to be tough. And let's not forget, they're going to be backed up by oracles that are mostly full energy. Like, these are not going to have to turn off the attack anytime soon. True. So see the banelings can transfer through. Does he full? No, he doesn't actually finish. No,
but now he might actually get trapped by all these lings. A really good surround from JonSnow, and the banelings coming in as well. The oracles are doing some good work.
I was going to say, the cost efficiency of this attack still isn't bad for Harstem. Even though he loses the adepts, he clears out all the banelings. He kills a good chunk of the zerglings, and of course he'll know to head home and play defensive. Zealots without banelings are great. We're going to have a couple overcharges with this too. I think the defense should be no problem.
Oh man, if only he had a couple banes right now, he could bust down that wall, but that's not going to be what happens here as he comes into this third base. Really hoping for a bit of damage there, but unfortunately it is not his day. He's just going to have to use these, I guess, as he is at the moment. Just threaten with them because he's really not going to be able to find a way in.
No. Everything here is just kind of in whole position to make sure that specifically doesn't happen. But baneling speed being researched, ranged attacks on the way. It looks to be the same composition we saw in Game 1, and it's going to have Hydras at some point.
Yeah. And the other thing is that Harstem seems to be playing the same style as well. He did favor faster adept upgrades in this game, and now we see him heading into that charge a lot composition. But oh, that's actually a pretty nice catch. Gets some extra lings for his troubles.
Some extra lungs.
Some long lings.
Long lings. What is that, like a mutant zergling? It's like extra long. It's like a centipede.
Abathur's been working on him, yeah.
I think those are called defilers.
Yeah, fair point. Oh, he actually gets a few drones here. I did not expect him to be able to grab more than one or two, so nicely done.
That's what's kind of nice, though. Again, like the effectiveness of the oracles, it pays off over time sometimes. We've seen players sit there and get 2 kills. I saw a game we cast one time, I think it was Drogo. He didn't get more than like 2 or 3 kills at a time, but he did it for like 10 minutes straight, so eventually ended up to like 30 kills. So these oracles, if used correctly, can certainly be very deadly, even if they're not getting this burst damage of like a whole drone line.
No, it's great, because if you can keep it up, because let's not forget, JonSnow is aiming for that 80 worker economy, which he just hit, by the way, so this is when that huge army starts getting pumped out. So if you can moderate the amount of drones that he's going to be getting, that's only going to help you in the long run.
Phoenix does get shut down. It's a little bit awkward, because it was, of course, real, not a hallucination. I guess I'm worried, because I like the idea like where he's getting to. Charge lots, storms, immortals, but he doesn't have a lot. And JonSnow's getting to that point where his army's looking pretty good. 4th base is down too, and of course he's mining those gases, which is really the most important thing to him right now.
Yeah, definitely. And the upgrades are in the favor of JonSnow heavily right now. Of course, Harstem's going to have those tech gear units. He's going to have Splash and a bit of beef in those immortals. But as we saw last game, Harstem is able to utilize those brilliantly to keep the Zerg at bay, to take cost-efficient trade after cost-efficient trade. I do like that the Warp Prism is out and about now. It's just in a spot of bother.
Ooh, just barely. Like if that moves any direction, that's going to get shot.
Yeah.
So he's got a whole position for now and hope he doesn't accidentally hit F2 at any point. But the thing about the Immortals that's kind of nice, well, for anyone that's Protoss, not nice for anyone that's not, is they can soak a lot of damage. Like for their cost, their barrier ability, their base health line, like these things can last a long time. If you need something in the front lines to soak baneling hits, these are your go-to units.
Yeah. Oh, man.
But, yo, these force fields have been so dank.
Oh, my gosh. That just put so much difference in the resources lost. And what did that get? 4 probe kills?
Yeah, that was actually... I will give it to JonSnow. That was a great run by. That was something that was meant to catch Harstem off guard. Harstem was so busy looking at the front line. We saw the storms. We saw the attention span. I didn't even see the attack was coming, but JonSnow had already had Harstem dodge him for it.
Yeah. That was a nice attempt. I do really like those sort of little run-bys. And JonSnow did brilliantly with that in the second half of the game, keeping the pressure up. And I think if he continues to play this base denial style...
that was a kill, not a cancel, I think. Whoops.
He'll do just fine.
Yeah, that was a kill.
It was, yeah.
Other side of the map, we did have Adepts get in. No, excuse me, Zealots. Either way, he gets some drone kills, stops the mining, almost gets the Queen, does get the Queen. Not bad.
Very nice. I believe he's got some extra queens anyway, but that harassment's real nice. It forces JonSnow home again and gives him a break. He's going to try and retake that 4th yet again. We'll see if JonSnow takes another stab at it or maybe tries to run into the natural. The harassment here from Harstem is kind of constant at the moment, so he's doing a really great job with that.
By the way, big thank yous to Mega Man Red for that mega awesome resub, dude. Glad to have you back for another month. Spire is going to be the transition to... I mean, I'm going to assume this is not going to be for much, but maybe the Greater Spire later, because Hive is on the way.
Yeah. Much sooner transition into Hive this time around. Oh, don't do it.
Really nice SimCity. It's going to force out these storms to get good hits, but unfortunately, though, we are in this position where JonSnow's army is not enough, I think, to overwhelm Harstem. And Harstem's pulling back. He might have to cancel or lose another base, and that might suck. But if he kills this army, JonSnow can't remake this the same way he has it.
Yeah, he's actually having a bit of a rough time because JonSnow's in 2 places at once and this army isn't that big. And JonSnow's keeping up the pressure real good. The storms are helping out a lot here though, and slowly but surely Harstem has cleaned this up. But yeah, JonSnow's giving him a real run for his money in this series.
Yeah, my concern while this has been going on though is like production tab has been kind of weak on both sides of the field though. Harstem doesn't have a lot of actual upgrades. His base got shut down. He's not actually building a lot. It's all warp ins, which means gateway units, which means I don't know if those are the best things to have this late. The other problem is I think we're going to see a bit of a repeat where he doesn't see the Broodlords coming. Harstem, in a clear mindset where he's calm and collected and chilling at home, I bet you he thinks about this 10 times out of 10. But in the tournament setting, it's a little bit uncomfortable. I'm actually looking over him. He's very intensely sitting in that seat. He's got a couple of Phoenix, but he's not going to be ready for a Broodlord transition unless he scouts something. And if he scouts it too late, then it'll look just like Game 1, and there'll just be no way to really stop it.
Yeah, it's a bit rough, and he's at that point where he might actually end up pushing just as Broodlords are beginning to morph.
Oh, not if he's going to go home like this, though.
Oh, yeah.
This is so important out of JonSnow. The fact that this isn't going to kill a lot, it's not meant to, but it's supposed to keep Harstem from attacking. It's supposed to buy him time. Fleet Beacon starts up. Another Stargate on the way. Harstem, I think, actually knows, and he hasn't scouted it.
No, he hasn't just yet. JonSnow's doing such a fantastic job at keeping Harstem busy so that he doesn't even have time to head in here and have a look. Even like a hallucination scout at this point. Getting those Phoenixes in there. He needs to find out about this. A bunch of Banelings going to roll up to the front door. It isn't open, but there's a very hurt Zealot there.
Yeah, it's like a rickety wood door from like the Middle Ages. It's not very good.
Oh, but he's managing to keep it out just barely. Where's the storm? Oh, Archons are good enough.
Yeah?
Yeah. Nice. Nicely done.
I feel like I just want to like type East Lude with like half the things you say.
Now who needs to get their mind out of the gutter?
Alright, this is a good base snipe actually out of Harstem. Unfortunately though, like I think if this was the surprise element, if this was like JonSnow, if it was a complete repeat of Game 1 and Harstem saw this coming too late, I think JonSnow walks over Harstem. But 2 Tempests on the way, weapon upgrades to go with it. He's not going to be caught so badly off guard, not again. And this, by the way, he scouted the Hive and the Spire, but he never saw the Greater Spire. This might just be a blind risk he's taking, but it's one worth taking. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, these Hydras got a nasty shock there, and they're going to wobble away, but they're just going to find some Templar friends.
He's going to kill like 3 or 4 of these actually on his way out. Gets 1.
I think he got a couple there, which is good. And, he's back at it.
That was one of the Stargates, so that's actually a really important pickoff, considering he needs multiple Tempests to deal with even just like a single Broodlord.
And it looks like he's going to get maybe a pylon out of this as well if he focuses it.
Nah, it's just the Zealots for now. But attack goes down on the right side. There are those Broodlords, and the Tempests still just aren't ready to go. The Storm should be able to wash off a lot of the Lings, and the upside is the Broodlords are slow. But how many Tempests are even out right now? One single Tempest. Dealing with these is not going to be easy.
Uh-oh, Spaghetti-O. He's got no real answer for those brutes. 1 Tempest at a time.
Oh no, it's flying!
No,
oh no!
Get out of there!
Okay, there's a dead zone up here. Overlord's not going to take advantage of it, but this is a problem.
Army, there's no shields left on this. He's still got storms, but with Broodlords coming in, that doesn't really matter at this point.
He's cut off from his Tempest. His only single Tempest can't even help with the fight. No Stalkers, not even worth warping in because he doesn't have Blink.
It looks like.
Oh my God, JonSnow does it! He takes the 2-1. He reverse kills, and of course turns this bracket on its head. That was amazing out of JonSnow.
Wow, well done to JonSnow. 2-1, getting the revenge kill there on our friend Harstem. So
NA kids, dude, you don't expect it, then they just kick your ass.
Fantastic performance. I didn't see the last series, but I'm now finding it a little bit hard to believe that Harstem 2-0'd him.
I know, like I feel like I have to show you the replays here just to like prove it, but. Unfortunately, that's going to be it for the day, guys. We're done. I'm definitely going to try and grab JonSnow, see if he wants to come on for an interview. But once again, Zeph, love having her on.
Woo! Thanks for having me, pal.
Can we do a little party? Like just a little bit.
Raising the roof, yeah. I'm so sorry, guys.
Don't be. I love that. I'm gonna gift that later. But okay, so we're gonna go to a break. I'll see if I can grab JonSnow for some words. any final shout-outs from you before you disappear?
No, just shout out to all you guys in the chat for hanging out. Make sure you come to DreamHack if you ever get the chance. It's heaps fun, or any other WCS event.
I wish I could express how big this is. Like, this area we're at, like, it doesn't look that big because it goes right to the stage, but this thing goes down. Like, this whole convention center has been rented out.
That's it. Alrighty.
Awkward Zeph face. Yeah, maybe that should be a new emote on the channel.
Awkward Zeph face. Oh, God, I got plenty of those.
All right, thank you guys for watching. Like I said, I'll try and grab JonSnow. All right, what's up, everybody? I know the lighting's not so good, but I'm with JonSnow. Guy just, without a doubt in my mind, caused a huge upset. He advances on the bracket. I mean, we were talking about this during the cast, too. Like, the difference of winning and losing that best of 3 was like $1,500.
Yeah,
it's crazy to think about.
You don't want to think about it.
Yo, so I will say, like, we joked about this already, guys, so I'm not being mean here. He got wrecked, the first best of 3. Like, we don't know what happened, and I thought, oh, Jesus, he is in trouble. But that comeback, like, can you explain what just happened? Like, it's like you went Super Saiyan.
Well, you see, the secret is I watched Cyril for like 30 seconds, and I just I gained
he
at least 500 MMR. Yeah.
I mean, Cyril's an inspiration, to say the least. He's definitely, I think, somebody who gets – nobody forgets about Cyril, but he's always underrated, and he's so good at the game.
Yeah, I know.
So, I got to ask, actually, do you actually take inspiration from him or anyone else? Or?
I want to take inspiration from more, but, like, he doesn't have a lot of VODs out, you know.
It's okay, it's been a long day for all of us.
I want to watch, like, a lot more Cyril, and hopefully I can, you know, look at him this tournament more, because he's super sick good. You always see him, like, on the top of the ladder, but you can't really see those games, so you don't really know what exactly he's doing.
Yeah, you just see that he's there. I like, by the way, KJ says, that win was huge for Harstem. Way to go in all caps. That was huge, though. I mean, Harstem is a fantastic player.
I know.
And I think his PvZ has been, for a while, one of his better matchups, too. So that was cool. But you were talking about this, too. So I don't want to walk through every game. You know, we just watched it. We don't need to complete recap. But game 2, I got to ask, did you just get caught with your pants down, or what happened with that? Because you had such a strong game 1, a pretty good game 3. But what was game 2?
So game 2, I was blind countering him going for the Warp Prism Mark-on drop.
Yeah.
So I was completely blind countering that, and then I saw the Stargate, and I was like, crap, I read this completely wrong.
Too late, yeah.
And then I was like trying to switch into Hydra, but I wasn't expecting the big
adept
push, so I just didn't have enough stuff.
So it was with your pants down?
Yeah, I was completely pants down.
Okay, cool. Because we were questioning that. We're like, man, how did he misread this? We thought this would be like guesswork. But then my other question is, you did weird thirds, man, if we're going to be real, especially in that first game. What was that about? Can you give us some explanations?
I saw Sue do it once, and it kind of worked. And I think like when you're the underdog and you're playing someone who's really good, anything that's kind of weird will like kind of freak him out. Like, oh no, is he all-inning me? Is something weird going on? So as long as you make the game weirder, I think it's better for you.
A little element of like mind games. Then.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, I don't know. Nobody knows who's playing who tomorrow, right? Like the brackets haven't been set. So is there anyone in particular you would like to face?
I don't think there's anyone I think is going to be like easy in the round of 16.
Well, no one's going to be easy. But I mean, like if you got to pick one guy who you think you got a chance, what do you think?
I don't know exactly who advanced.
Well, give us a race. We'll make that easier. What race would you rather fight in the round of 16?
Either a Zerg or like a non-Showtime /Need is Protoss. Either of those I'll be happy with.
I think that's like nobody at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe Monoston. I don't actually know, guys.
Yeah. It's not Showtime or Need.
Okay, well, what about who? Okay, that's who you wouldn't want to fight. Who would you want? Or no, excuse me. Who wouldn't you want to fight about most? Like obviously Need or Showtime, I'm guessing. But between the two, who's scarier for you?
Probably Showtime because I don't know as much about Showtime. I think I could.
Do you play against Neeb a decent amount on ladder? How's that work?
Not much because he grinds a lot on EU, but you see him a little bit more, especially on the NA ladder sometimes. But he couldn't do the WCS qualifier ladder competition, so I didn't get many games versus him recently.
Yeah, we were actually talking about that in Ting. He's like, I'll just win.
I'll just do the qualifier.
He's like, I'll just win. It won't be a problem. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, let me ask you this then. A lot of NA players, they don't get to go full-time. Most of them juggling school or jobs and stuff. How would you describe the last couple of years for you? Has it been tough trying to play StarCraft?
Yeah, it's always tough when you're like in college and also trying to be competitive because you obviously have to like do your homework, study, do all that stuff, and also try to be really good. And sometimes just like the timings line up so terribly. Like you'll have the WCS qualifier going on
during the finals.
During during the finals, and you're just like, oh my god, this is so hard.
Well, have you been able to hit up many? Like I know Psystorm's been throwing a lot of lands and stuff recently. Have you been able to hit those up over the last couple of years?
No, I've done the Cheesadelphias. I haven't been to a Psystorm Cup yet, just because it's kind of far from me. I'm like up in Albany.
I know you're on the opposite side of the country from me. That's all.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So how do you feel? Have those helped you out, man? Like, do you think like what's better, just online grinding, or is actually going to the events? Is that like the way to improve?
I think you need to like go to a few events just to figure everything out and get used to it. And besides that, I don't think like going to 100 events is better than just going to 50. I think you eventually just get comfortable being at LANs.
Well, where this was leading into was like WCS has less events now, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not as prevalent as it was in the past. Do you think the new system's helpful or hurtful for people in your position who are kind of juggling everything?
It's not as bad because there are those 4 WCS online qualifiers you can play.
The big deal ones, yeah.
Which you can always play even if you are busy. The LANs are sometimes difficult to go to because you have to miss a few days of school.
Well, what about this? How was this to get to?
This, it was a pretty good time for me. I had no tests I had to miss or anything, so it was pretty much a perfect time for me to come.
What's the next one's Montreal, I think, right?
Yeah.
What's that looking like schedule-wise, do you think?
That's like the beginning of the year, so I don't think there's anything going on then.
I don't care if I skip class.
Yeah, that's the beginning. I don't really
the first one, who cares? I don't care who my professor is. Intro to what?
Yep. And it's pretty close to me. It's like 3 hours away, I think, so...
Oh, that's nice.
I should be able to make it up and back really quick.
Someone in chat, is this the guy dating Scorplay? I don't know. It should be kind of obvious from their Twitters.
Oh.
Actually, let me ask you that. Don't. If this is uncomfortable, don't.
Okay.
How did you guys meet? Because she has like been all over being the best girlfriend possible on Twitter for you.
Yeah. We met in a Twitch chat, just talking, and then kind of talking. We realized we were actually pretty close. She's only a couple hours away from me. So.
Oh, so it's like what? Oh, let's get dinner sometime.
Yeah. Came up and visited, and
Very smooth. Very smooth.
Yep.
Okay.
Pretty convenient.
Who asked who out first?
I think like we kind of joked about it.
Oh, it's like an awkward joke that became a real thing.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be hilarious if we dated? You're like,
I just say it was me. It was me. I think at the beginning.
All right, respect. All right.
The move.
So here's a question I have. This will be the final one, I promise. Get away from the awkwardness after. Has she been a good support for you this whole time? Like I don't know. Like I imagine girlfriends for pro players have got to be difficult to balance because you want to spend time with them, but you also want to practice games.
Yeah.
And I know she's really supportive as a person. So has she been? Do you think she's been like an overall benefit? Like every great man has a great woman behind her type thing.
It's definitely easier because she kind of like knows about the games and stuff. So she understands if I say like, hey, I gotta practice a lot, I'm gonna ignore you for a while.
She's good with it?
Yeah, she understands that.
You found a keeper, man. You found a keeper.
Some other girls, they might not be happy. So yeah, she's been really supportive, and it's always nice just to when you're at an event, whether it's more relaxing,
Well, you also know you got like the one big fan cheering for you no matter what,
yeah.
Right? All right, well, dude, thank you so much. I want to wish you the best of luck for tomorrow.
Thank you.
You got any final shout-outs?
Follow me on Twitter. I'm at JonSnow SC2.
Look, this is how you're supposed to do shout-outs. Look at it. He's smooth right into that.
Yeah, no coaching at all.
And, of course, shout-out to his team, too.
Yeah, shout-out to Psystorm Gaming. They're awesome. We got a few people here, True, Pilly, and I.
Actually, I guess there's like a squad of Psystorm and a squad of Root. There's like a good 4 or 5 from each. It's kind of cool to see. Did you see the Root cheer they did earlier?
No.
They all did like, Root, Root, Root.
Oh, man.
I actually got it on film, but I'm not sure I should post it because it was kind of awkward.
That does sound awkward.
All right, well, JonSnow, man, I wish you the best of luck tomorrow. I don't know if we'll be casting you or not, but good luck.
All right,
thank you guys for watching our cast today. We're just going to wrap it up here, so have a good night, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.